Welcome to the big country of West Texas. It's Abilene as the Abilene Christian University Wildcats welcome in the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. WAC basketball on ESPN Plus less than 2 weeks after these two teams met in Cedar City. Here they are again. Grant Boone alongside Ron Holmes. Coach, the march toward the madness is on. The calendar will turn at the end of next week. Both of these teams are playing some of their best basketball of the season. Southern Utah's won a couple of games of late, and Abilene Christian's won 3 in a row.
Right, well, and the role has started in Utah for the Abilene Christian Wildcats. If they keep this thing going, they're going to guarantee them a decent spot in the WAC tournament. Well,
and we'll see if Southern Utah tonight can return the favor. These two teams have a history of winning on the other's home court. Take a look at the current WAC standings. Utah Valley leading it by a game. Southern Utah took them down to the wire last Saturday night in Cedar City. Abilene Christian, with a good week this week, could lock up one of those top 7 spots and avoid that play-in game on the eve of WAC Vegas. Let's take a look at our impact players tonight. For Southern Utah, it's Dominique Ford, and for Abilene Christian coach, it's Braden Hubbard, who seems to have come on here since conference play began.
Yeah, I think Braden's finally, he's got his footing. The transfer jitters are over, and he's now the leading scorer on the team, or he has been the leading scorer on the team since they started conference. So that's a very, very healthy sign for Tanner.
All right, let's meet the third member of our broadcast team as we get ready for the broadcast tonight. It's Roman Raffelli. Roman.
Thanks, Grant. Tonight's game between Southern Utah and Abilene Christian marks the shortest gap between head-to-head games since Abilene Christian played Texas A&M Corpus Christi in 2021, just 5 days apart. The Wildcats played Southern Utah 12 days ago on February 8th, where they were successful in a win 84-70 over the Thunderbirds. The Wildcats never trailed in that game and will look to continue that dominance and sweep the season series here tonight. Guys, back to you.
All right, Roman, thank you. Hopefully familiarity doesn't breed contempt tonight as these two teams get back together less than 2 weeks after meeting out in Cedar City. Brett Smith is going to toss the ball skyward. He is joined by John Hampton and James Ford on the officiating crew tonight. ACU trying to win 4 in a row. Southern Utah trying to get back on the winning track. Wildcats control the tip, and away we go. Rich Smith getting the start, as he has during conference play for Abilene Christian. Leonardo Bettiol, tough shot won't go. Here you see the starting 5, and a whistle and a foul against Smith and ACU. He fouled out in the game last Saturday night, the win over Seattle.
You know, the game in Cedar Valley was a quick start. Hunter Jack got off, and I thought he might pull a 3 on that, but of course, they stripped their plays, but the quick start is what vaulted the Wildcats to a big win.
There's an important note there as you look at the starting 5 for Southern Utah. Tavy Jackson, who did not play against Abilene Christian on February the 8th. Felder leaves it for Langston in the paint, and soft touch, and Southern Utah gets first blood. Tavy Jackson will not play tonight, and Rob Jeter isn't sure he's going to play the rest of the year. Injured most of the season, or a good chunk of the season. Braden Hubbard tries to answer, and right on cue, as you talked about in the open, answers.
You know, Braden Hubbard is probably a better player now than he was in the regular season because he's putting the ball on the floor with more confidence, taking it to the hole in 1 or 2 dribbles.
There's Brock Felder, who's a little under the weather. Delivers a dunk in Southern Utah. Buckets on their first couple of possessions. Bettiol had a big night. Has it big night in Cedar City, and he draws a foul here on Felder. And Leo Bettiol to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, that's Bettiol's game right there. He's a back to the basket player. We say that every night they play. But he's a traditional throwback. Plays with his back to the basket. He's got great footwork and a really nice soft touch.
You see Brett Tanner, 4th season as the ACU head coach. Well, the free throw percentage has really plummeted for Bettiol in conference play. Just right about 60% in WAC games. It's the second to go. It's 4-3. Abilene Christian has trailed coming into tonight in the last 3 games, 18 seconds over 120 minutes during this 3-game win streak. Tonight, Southern Utah has had a lead so far in the first 90 seconds. This is Abelard, the walk-on transfer. And Langston has it stripped, regains, kicks it out. Abelard keeps the pivot foot down as long as he could. It looked like a game of Twister.
Well, that was awkward. He did a nice job making up on a bad pass or a tipped pass, but got himself in trouble.
So a takeaway for Abilene Christian, 4th in the nation, as Smith can't get the bucket to go, and they're going to get a foul on Malik Lamine. Even though he had boxed out Bettiol, Leo came over the top of him, and the estimation of the officials did not commit a foul. Body control by Leo. There you go. Ball kind of bounced towards Bettiol. Keon Williams been terrific in his first year here at ACU, transferring from Oklahoma State. He puts the Wildcats in front.
You know, they really compliment Keon with his growth off the court. I was visiting with the team chaplain yesterday, and he goes by the office regularly. He's changed his life. Better man.
Jameer Simpson blocked by Bettiol. And thrown away by Hubbard, and the Wildcats give it right back. Simpson creating and finishing.
Simpson did a nice job at Cedar Valley. I remember watching that game. He's deceptive with that left hand.
Keon Williams can't get the early 3 to fall, and the Thunderbirds with a lead in the ball back, and we got a whistle, and Hubbard's gonna be dinged for the personal foul. Yeah, when they met in Cedar City, Coach, on February the 8th, it was a game that...
It's a dangerous game.
Well, it was a game in which both teams were coming off victories. Southern Utah, there you see the contact under the basket. Southern Utah had just beaten California Baptist 2 nights before, a California Baptist team that would then beat Grand Canyon 48 hours later. And ACU had just beaten Utah Tech, but it was the Wildcats who control the game. Never trail. This is Dominique Ford. Step back for 3. Yes, sir. Is it a 2? They call it a 2. I think they'll check it. Dominique Ford leading the team in scoring, been even better in conference play, 17 per game. That's Nazir DeGrew in at the point for ACU.
You know, at some point, if you're Abilene Christian or even Utah, Southern Utah, you've got to start wondering in the back of your mind, do we win this? Well, we're going to win this game because we're on the road. We're playing ACU.
Williams can't get it to go. Tipped in by Hornecker, the 7-footer. He had come in for Bettiol. He brings ACU to within 1. But a foul in transition, and Keon Williams picks up the personal. And for ACU, that's the 3rd team foul in the first 3+ minutes. Take another look here. Brett Tanner was concerned about Southern Utah crashing the boards. He gets his big fella to attack the glass on the offensive end, and it results in a bucket for ACU. Ford instant offense. Tough to stop. That one was for 3. Tipped out and stripped by Madden. Saved in by Hubbard.
Good hustle. Good hustle.
It's just DeGrew in the corner for 3. Way too strong. Saved in bounds by Kai Burdick. 7-footer from Carlsbad, California. Southern Utah plays a lot of guys, and Simpson can't get it to go. Out of bounds off of DeGrew, I think. And we got a media timeout. All right, Southern Utah 3-9 in conference play. ACU 4-6. The Thunderbirds with an early lead in West Texas. Back here in Moody Coliseum in Abilene, Texas. ACU on the road for the first part of the conference season, but now getting some home games. Keys to the game, Southern Utah, don't stop believing. Still time to get right before the conference tournament begins. Jumper from Jameer Simpson falls, and Southern Utah coaches 5 of 8 so far from the floor.
Well, when you're 3 and 9, you're going to play loose right now because you really it's all in front of you.
A fight for the ball and taken away by Percy Miller. Checked into the game for the first time. The son of famed rapper Master P. This is Langston. And Southern Utah with a 5-point lead early.
Good offense. They're loose, shooting.
How about the defense from Southern Utah, Coach?
Yeah, really good. That and the offensive rebound, if they get that going, I think the last time they played the Wildcats in Utah, they had 18 offensive boards.
Burdick is bumped by Hornecker, and so AC with 3 turnovers so far. As we take a look at Rob Jeter, second season, 11 phenomenal years, a couple of great ones, especially at University of Milwaukee, took them to the tournament a couple of times. The son of Bob Jeter, Green Bay Packers great, Rose Bowl MVP, and of course now the son of a great athlete gets to coach his own son, Rob Jeter IV, on the Thunderbirds roster. ACU gets a takeaway, Hunter Jack Madden, the other way for Abilene Christian. Leo Bettio back in the game. Keon Williams goes to work on the smaller Avalar. Too short, but that one's tipped into the fraternity row.
I want to point out, if you're watching at home, watch the defense that Southern Utah is throwing at Abilene Christian. They're guarding the three-point line. They're not banging outside the three-point line, and then ACU is starting to screen inside the three-point line. So there's going to be some shots. There's not going to be any drives, but there's going to be some shots, like that shot right there.
Keon Williams with DeGrew driving and hanging in the air, and at 6'4", using that frame to give himself space and a bucket. ACU just 4 of 10 shooting so far.
You get opportunities like DeGrew had right there. You cannot pass that up. They're not going to let you drive.
Felder kick out. And that is Coach Jeter's son Rob up in the top of your screen. Felder dishes to Jeter, who finishes.
Well, they're very patient on that possession right there. That's a valuable possession.
7 of 10 shooting, Southern Utah. And Coach Tanner was concerned about the Thunderbirds attacking the offensive glass. They haven't had to. They've only missed 3 tonight. Hunter Jack Madden was hot in Cedar City. Can't get that one to go. Tipped up in the air by Christian Alston. And some contact. Felder running the floor. Rewarded with a pass. And finishes for the Thunderbirds. And a timeout taken by Brett Tanner. Felder, his second bucket. And Brett Tanner seen enough. And Rob Jeter just said, I can't believe how few games that all of us have been able to play together. He didn't want any sympathy. He understands that's part of it. But they started the season, Coach, hot. Yeah. They won 8 of their first 10 games, or 7 of their first 9, I should say. They were 7-2 and rolling, and then the injuries began to mount. Now it looks like Tavy Jackson may be out the rest of the year, their starting point guard. They haven't had Dom Ford, who's been fighting through a torn labrum. JT Langston, the same thing. So Brett Tanner has injury issues of his own. He lost his starting 4-man early in the year, Joe Vinzant. And there's Langston, who's been trying to battle through shoulder pain himself all year long. So a good start for Southern Utah.
Yeah, real good start.
Jeter thought that they still had time to maybe get themselves in position for a big week in March. It's a 1-bid league, the WAC, and another turnover for ACU, but Keon Williams takes it right back. A bounce to Christian Alston, who misses the wide open lay-in. And that kind of a start for ACU. The freshman couldn't get it to go.
Well, the Wildcats are going to have to run uphill tonight. They're used to fast starts.
This is Ford, throws it away. Williams doesn't see Alston sprinting out. Now he does. Alston, that time, does finish.
Yeah, made up for it.
ACU just 5 of 13 shooting, and another foul on the Wildcats, the 5th of the half. As we approach the 12-minute mark.
You know the graphic that we put up there that Southern Utah needs to keep believing.
Yeah.
The longer they hang around this game with a lead or they hover around 4 or 5 point differential, they're going to start believing in the second half that this is their game, this is their gym.
They're one of a couple of teams in the league that has played 12 conference games. ACU's only played 10. So Southern Utah is going to have a couple of these game days off in the next couple of weeks. ACU is going to be playing pretty much every night. There's a kicked ball.
Yeah, I was visiting one of the kids from Southern Utah before the game, and they're flying. They're busing back to Dallas tonight, flying home tomorrow. It's one of those quick turnarounds.
No game for them Saturday. They get that break at least. And a tipped ball, and Dontrez Williams rises up and throws it down.
That's great. And one of the keys for ACU is to blow up screens. They're going to have collisions.
4th turnover for Southern Utah as Avalar kicks it to Ford. Felder back to Ford with 7 on the shot clock. Southern Utah all out of sorts. Langston trying to save the possession. They're not going to get a shot off, I don't think. Will this count? They say it will count. Felder gets the rebound, but then they throw it away. Smith in transition. Rich Smith to the basket, cut off by Langston. Hubbard loses it. Both teams struggling to hang on to it. Avalar throws it away to Yanni Rivera. They're in the giving mood.
Well, it's a Greek night. It's a Greek game. It's intramurals.
Big fat Greek turnovers for both.
Yeah.
Williams for 3. Not the shot that Brett Tanner wants. Hubbard comes flying in for the offensive rebound. Bettiol's been quiet. And a foul on Langston, who thought maybe he had position. So did the Southern Utah bench. Abilene Christian down 7 here at home. They've cut it to 3. Media timeout. Midway through the first half in Abilene. Southern Utah off to a good start. ACU trying to come back.
And welcome back to Moody Coliseum. The Southern Utah Thunderbirds with a 16-13 lead over the Wildcats. In Southern Utah's last win, Jeffrey Langston Jr. made a clutch putback layup to take the lead versus Utah Tech with just 1.8 seconds remaining. These final 2 points capped his 12-point performance, while teammate Jameer Simpson led the team with 17. The Thunderbirds looked to get hot after his clutch make, but fell at the hands of Utah Valley by just 2 points on Saturday. They look to get back to winning tonight, even if it takes some late-game heroics. Grant, back to you.
Okay, Roman, thanks. ACU's not made a 3 tonight. A lob for Bettiol and a reach-in hold on the part of Malik Lamine.
Nice clear out right there by the Wildcats. Isolation down in the paint. You get that, that's death. If you're Southern Utah, you can't allow that to happen.
Lob in for Bettiol. Hunter Jack Madden went for 22 in Cedar City 12 nights ago. Hasn't scored yet tonight. And, well, he nearly threw it away. It was tipped out of bounds by Langston of Southern Utah. And with 7 on the timer, Abilene Christian will inbound it from that awkward spot over in the corner on the sideline. Madden rises up for 3, and that's just what ACU needed. They tie the game.
That's exactly what he did when they played in Utah. They need more of that. Now watch them blow up screens here.
Well, Langston's down and hurting. Well, I was going to say, in a way, that was tough for Ford. Had it gone in, it wouldn't have counted. But now it's tough for ACU because they're saying, wait, he shot it. Remember, Rob Jeter has been trying to navigate around all of these injuries. Dom Ford has been banged up. There's Langston, and not sure if that's A re-aggravation. Here's the inbound coming off that screen. And Madden, who hit 4 threes there in Cedar City, has one tonight to tie it. 7-0 run.
And he did it early on. And it basically buried Southern Utah.
Yeah, it was a 51-32 halftime lead as Langston came from Fort Wayne, he wasn't born in East LA, but he went to junior college there, then transferred to Ryder from the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, and then has come here to Southern Utah. They're double checking here to make sure there was no flagrant foul, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But you know, the University of Houston game against Texas Tech, something similar to that happened. You know, when I say they got off to a fast start, well, let's see what happens. Oh, they bumped legs, they bumped knees.
And that was Hubbard who went spilling in the collision with Langston. I mean,
you know, I was going to say, making reference to ACU in the fast start, I'm not talking about, if people are watching, I'm not talking about hitting threes. Any kind of transition, layup, any easy basket, any open shot that falls, you piggyback those. That's the quick start I'm talking about. Turnovers disrupt all of that.
well, and the turnovers have been piling up for Southern Utah, 4 in the last 3 minutes. And so Langston's back in there. Brett Smith talking to Rob Jeter, who I think wanted some type of a flagrant foul. 11 seasons at Milwaukee, then at Western Illinois before coming to Southern Utah. Now in his 2nd season. They didn't make the WAC tournament last year when only the top 8 earned berths. Now all 9 teams. The ball goes out of bounds, and that's a turnover. It's off of the hands of Percy Miller.
Miller tried the little point guard trick where you make contact with your hip. If you've got your right hand, with the ball in your right hand, you make contact with your left hip and you throw your head back like he's banging me. And the referee didn't buy that.
All right, a 7-0 run for Abilene Christian to tie the game, and now they can take the lead as Bettiol lobs it for Smith.
See now where they're guarding Smith, they're behind the line. They're just guarding the line.
Bettiol in the low block on Burdick. And a good defensive stand by the former baseball player for the University of San Francisco, Kai Burdick. And now the Thunderbirds can regain the lead and put an end to this 7-0 Wildcat run. Dontrez Williams on Jameer Simpson. Really working hard, can't get it to go, but an offensive rebound won't go on the stick back. Simpson from the baseline. Cross court to Abelar. Langston a kick out. Ford for 3 in the lead. No. Ball goes out of bounds. And they say it's Southern Utah ball.
Well, I didn't see that. It's good. That, again, 18 offensive rebounds when they played in Utah.
Yeah.
And we're seeing evidence of that. If that gets to be a stronghold for them tonight, it's going to be a long night for the Wildcats. But that's just exactly what Southern Utah does. And they do it very well.
5th offensive rebound of the night, 4 for ACU. Ford goes to work on Madden. And they'll reset things with 10 on the shot clock. Hubbard, the forward, defending the point guard Abelar. Did that even hit rim? That one did. And it's still going to be Southern Utah ball. ACU cannot secure possession.
They are relentless on the board. They contest every shot on one end and go after the 50-50 ball better than anybody in the WAC.
Well, early in the game they couldn't miss. Now when they are, they're getting their own misses. And finally, Burdick puts an end to the 7-0 ACU run and gives the Thunderbirds the lead back. 7 offensive rebounds now for Southern Utah. That was the big concern for Brett Tanner.
They're going to look for something inside because there'll be no driving.
Keon Williams. Shot clock down to 5. Williams from the baseline. No. And Burdick boxes out Hornecker in a battle of 7-footers. Langston into transition. No. And ACU wants to run the other way. Williams draws the foul from Abelard and will go to the line for 2.
Oh, you can see that one coming.
An immediate timeout. Abilene Christian at home, as they will be for the last month of the season, down by 2. Abilene Christian went Division I fall of 2013. They became eligible for the postseason in 2017, 2018, and that next year they went to the NCAA tournament for the first time. They went the next tournament as well and upset Texas in the first round. Southern Utah has been to the tournament once. Missed free throw for ACU's Keon Williams.
Well, there's a real strong chance ACU could have gone 3 times with the COVID year.
Yeah.
But their chances were really great that year.
So ACU 2 of 4 at the stripe, trailing it by 1. 4th year in the WAC. For another turnover. That was created by Hunter Jack Madden. Rich Smith, nothing there. Madden working the baseline, too strong with the lay-in, and fell to the rebound. 8 turnovers now for Southern Utah, but they've withstood it. They lead by 1, and Simpson's back in the game. And not sure what that was. Langston for 3.
I think he tapped the ball and regained it.
Smith wants to run. Kicks it to Dontrez Williams. To Keon Williams. How did that go?
Wow. Quite an athlete from Oklahoma State, transferred to Abilene Christian.
Under the big top tonight, the circus in town. Keon Williams puts Abilene Christian back in front. He has been dynamite in his first season.
He has.
For the Wildcats.
And of course, Brayton Hubbard has stepped up since conference has started. That's a nice dynamic duo, really.
That's right, 2 guys transferring from Oklahoma schools. And how about that fancy jumper to beat the shot clock buzzer from Jameer Simpson? And back and forth we go now with the Thunderbirds in front by 1.
Simpson is pretty smooth. I watched that game in Utah, and he was pretty lethal.
ACU throws it away. Dontrez Williams, 5th turnover for the Wildcats. And Langston prevents another giveaway. Simpson to the hoop, fall away, draws a foul, and Mashai Hill, the big sophomore for Abilene Christian, the guilty party, and Jameer Simpson to the line to shoot 2.
I have a pretty good idea what the ACU dressing room is going to be like at halftime. They're going to talk about their defense, or the lack thereof of defense.
Well, they scored 51 in Cedar City 12 nights ago in the first half. Not even halfway there with 6 minutes to go here tonight. In fact, ACU, and this was a big concern of Rob Jeter coming into the game, ACU and Brett Tanner have really found their offensive stride in these last 3 games. They've scored at least 40 in the first half of the last 3. As Langston still looks to be in some discomfort. And Brett Tanner said, I turned my guys loose.
Yeah.
I promised them that if they would get stops, I'd let them go on offense. It's worked for the last 3 games. Not as well tonight, with the Wildcats shooting just 8 of 20 from the floor.
But you got to keep doing. You stick with it and get the transition, easy basket. There it is.
Rivera from Puerto Rico, and another turnover for Abilene Christian, 2 in a row. And Southern Utah able to take advantage. Their lead is 3. They've led by as many as 7. 1 bucket for Dom Ford tonight. Rob Jeter just tries to find some way to get through these injuries. Felder's been, that's going to be a charge on Felder, and that was the bread and butter for Abilene Christian when they were leading the nation in takeaways, taking charges. It's harder to do now. About the only time you can do it is right on the ball. If the offensive player has it and runs into it, that's the only time you can ever get it. It doesn't happen very much anymore.
No, not at all. Referees are trained now to watch the plant foot before you go up. If that foot is planted and you're in the motion of shooting, yet you're already there, you had to have been there before they planted their foot.
You're far more likely to get one on a dribble drive now than you would have in the old days on a shot attempt.
Yeah.
Now on a shot attempt, it's even more rare. Betty Old can't finish, and Abilene Christian has gone cold again. Southern Utah's missed 8 of its last 10. There's a foul on DeGrew, and that's going to put a good free throw shooter at the line. And by good, I mean great. Dom Ford, 90+% in conference play.
Southern Utah, they just look really comfortable. Even when they're turning the ball over, they have confidence because they are such a dynamic offensive rebounding team.
Well, and 7 of their 16 rebounds tonight have come on the offensive end. That was Brett Tanner's primary emphasis to his team tonight. Do not let them get second chance opportunities. And they've got, they've been outscored by ACU in second chance points, but they've had 3 more of those offensive rebounds. This is a 1-and-1 for Dominic Ford, as he's done all year.
You know,
converts at the line.
Statistically, that's tough to say for you. Statistically, they've had 32 steals or deflections in them just last week. I'm talking about Southern Utah.
Southern Utah 4 of 4 at the line. ACU 2 of 4. It is a 5-point lead for the Thunderbirds with DeGrew back into the point. Braden Hubbard, spin move, floater, short. Tries to tie up Simpson, can't, and now Abilene Christian's gone quiet. Too strong for Ford, and ACU with another takeaway. Rivera running, and that's again part of what Brett Tanner told his team they can do. We're gonna let you run if you get the stop. They can't convert. Abelar gets a little space, a little short with the shot, and Hubbard clears the rebound. There is that faster pace that's led to this 3-game win streak. Alston loses it, and the Thunderbirds come out of there with it. Wow. The 7th turnover for ACU.
They're playing great.
That's some of what Brett Tanner said I've got to live with if I'm going to let him go.
You're used to someone bumping and grinding with you for 94 feet, and that's not their game tonight. There's nothing. ACU's, look, watch these guys from Southern Utah. They'll pack it in, dare you to shoot it. He's not even guarding DeGrew.
ACU 1 of 6 from 3. DeGrew from the free throw line rattles that one in, his second bucket.
Yeah, that's the shot that the Wildcats will have tonight, all night.
Just 9 of 24 from the floor on their home court, where they've been for the last couple of weeks. They'll host Utah Tech on Saturday night. Utah Tech playing Utah Valley tonight. Abelar loses it into the hands of Burdick, and a gift that Burdick unwraps at the rim. We're due for a media timeout, a minute past 4-minute mark. Bettiol, reverse, no, and Burdick again. And Leo Bettiol's 0 for 4 from the floor. Burdick's been a big reason why.
But you got to keep going to that, Grant. If you're ACU, you've got to keep going to that shot.
Jeter for 3, no, and Rivera the rebound. Well, these teams are gassed. There have been no whistles in the last 90 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot until you've been out there going back and forth. Rivera at the free throw line and a whistle, and they're going to get a foul, I think, on Southern Utah. No, is it going the other way? Offensive foul. ACU discombobulated offensively. Southern Utah, the main reason why. Thunderbirds up 5. Well, a very different game than what these two teams played in Cedar City 12 nights ago. when Abilene Christian led at the break 51-32. Here ACU coach is at 21 points. What has Southern Utah done well?
They packed it in right quick. The shot you're going to get is going to be in the paint. And if ACU is going to be a little more patient, they'll search their offense. They'll find that shot every trip. But you watch ACU now on this possession, they're going to pick you up 75, 80 feet. They're going to bang with you. Southern Utah won't do that.
If you're an ACU fan, you've got to be concerned that Dominic Ford only has 4 points, and yet Thunderbirds lead by 5. Poked away by Bettiol. Turnover number 11 for the Thunderbirds. Alston in transition. And a blocking foul they call on Ford, and Smith is going to go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Southern Utah's upset because they baited the referee during the timeout with that call, that crash, or that collision with Bettiol. They thought they'd do it again. Good coaching. I got to tell you, that's pretty sharp. Got some good assistance over there in Southern Utah.
Smith has started all 11 games in conference play. The transfer from St. Thomas Aquinas Division II up in New York. Not a great free throw shooter. It's a 1-and-1, and it's an offensive rebound initially by Hubbard, but Bettiol creates a held ball.
Good hustle.
And the Thunderbirds are going to have it. So the 1-and-1 missed front end by Smith. Gets the ball back to Southern Utah, and AC will at the very least flip that possession error. It's been a frustrating night for Bettiol. He got his uniform dirty there. He creates the held ball.
You get the feeling that someone goes on a 2 or 3 or 4 minute run could decide this thing.
ACU had a 7-0 run to tie the game. But, the Wildcats now struggling to hang on to the ball. They have 8 turnovers, and this is not a Southern Utah team that takes the ball away very much from their opponents. They forced the fewest amount of turnovers in the conference, just 10 a game, but ACU already has 8 giveaways. Langston to Duncan Reed. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Langston on Smith. It hit the rim, and he gets his own miss. And a timeout taken by Langston, who's really frustrated.
Grant, I am so impressed. This is just fantastic to watch them attack the basket and get their own miss. They are relentless.
Now, Rob Jeter, as we take one more look here, still had the faith. He was really downcast as we take another look here. That was Langston getting his own miss, calling for a timeout, and Madden trying to tie it up and get the ball back. Rob Jeter was really down because Tavy Jackson had come back after missing some time with a knee injury. Played great against Utah Valley as they played the league leaders to a 1-possession game Saturday night, but then Jackson now out again. Not sure he'll play again the rest of the year. And he said, you know, we've ever since that, basically the first month of the season when we got off to that 7-2 start, we've been kind of swimming upstream, battling those injuries. Is that a 5-second call? It is. And the 12th turnover of the first half for Southern Utah. But he said, I still think there is something there for us here this season. And they have played like it tonight. Abilene Christian really struggling on the offensive end, and again, a lot of that is because of Southern Utah. Bettiol hasn't made a bucket tonight. He may get another chance here. Working on Burdick. A little floater, no. And Bettiol's 0 for 5 from the floor.
Well, but you got to keep going back to that. That is a great shot.
1 minute to play in the first half. Southern Utah is trying to climb out of the cellar and avoid a play-in game on the eve of the tournament. 8 plays 9. With the winner going with the other 7 to the tournament. Here's another turnover. And Dontrez Williams with another flush. And a foul in transition. That's the second time that Williams has gone the other way. Dangerously close to a A technical foul there for pulling himself up on the rim. We've seen that called a few times this year. Now you get a 1-and-1 chance here for JT Langston. With Dontrez Williams, he and Christian Alston, very promising freshman for Brett Tanner. If he makes the first, he'll get another. So they've made both front ends of their 1-and-1 opportunities. Brett Tanner's team 0 for 1.
You know, I get the feeling that if both teams were bad, you'd try to muddy it up a little bit and have an ugly game. But this is an ugly game by both teams.
Southern Utah 6 of 6 at the stripe. ACU 2 of 5. Wildcats hustling. Williams, little floater, tipped up, no, and a foul that Rich Smith draws on the offensive glass. So the Wildcats with an offensive rebound. Watch Williams on Simpson. He was almost too open, but Smith at 6'4". Both Wildcat point guards are 6'4". DeGrew and Rich Smith.
That shot's going to be there, like we've been saying all night. I don't sound like a broken record, but that shot's going to be there. They're going to give you that shot.
This was a shooting foul, so Smith gets 2. And again for Brett Tanner, whose team has been so efficient offensively. The last 3 games tonight, it's come to a screeching halt. Will be a 2.5 differential on the shot clock as Rich Smith converts both. So here's Hersey Miller. His dad Percy, Master P, No Limit Records. Got a brother Mercy he played with and another sibling Versey. And some contact they allow. Taken away by Smith with 3 seconds to go in the half. Williams, no! Out of bounds, and that's the half, I believe. And Keon Williams can't believe he couldn't finish. I think they're going to check to see if there's any time left. The 14th takeaway by ACU, and Keon Williams, that kind of a half for him. Bodies went flying. There might be a less than a second to go here as they review. Keon Williams tonight, 2 of 7 from the floor. Bettiol, 0 of 5. 2 of ACU's top 3 scorers.
Now, if you're Coach Jeter, you've got to be, I mean, pleased with the way you've played. You've muddied it up. Every possession has been pretty muddy. Let's see what happens. They're gonna want to foul on Honecker, but you can't institute a foul.
.2, is that what they said?
Yeah.
I'm trying to read lips here. If it's .2, you can't shoot it. You have to just tip it. If it's less than .3, you can't take a shot. Boy, Rob Jeter is livid. You just have to lob and hope. No. And that's how the first half ends. Southern Utah, bottom of the conference, but on top at the break. Playing like a desperate team tonight. Playing some of their best ball in the last couple of weeks. And a solid first half for them. And ACU head coach Brett Tanner is with Roman Raffelli.
At halftime, what did you see from your guys in the first half?
Well, I knew these guys were going to come after us pretty aggressive in the first half. I don't like the way, like defensively, we weren't very locked in. We did a terrible job rebounding. That's all we've talked about for a week. They're probably the best offensive rebounding team in the league, and we didn't do a good job. I thought that we allowed that to get to us a little bit. Our body language wasn't good. We've got to recalibrate right here in the locker room and come out and be a completely different team second half.
Leo held scoreless in that first half. What do you need to do to get him going?
He's got to be aggressive, man. He's playing without confidence. He's shying away from contact because that guy's a shot blocker. He's just got to go right through him, get to the free throw line.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Guys, back to you.
Thank you. Well, you heard it from Coach Tanner, who is usually pretty good at just giving you the unvarnished opinion. His team trails by 3 at the break. We return to Moody in a moment.
Welcome back to our halftime show. I'm Daisy Strine here with Zion Webb. We're upstairs in Moody Coliseum to tell you all about that first half that we just saw. It was a very low-scoring first half for both teams. ACU just scored 25 points. The last time that they faced Southern Utah, they had 51 points at half. They haven't even gotten halfway there yet in this game. Very defensive, not very offensive, Zion.
Yeah, for sure. Both of these teams acting like they're playing hot potato, throwing this ball all over the place, trying over and over. We keep seeing both of them be able to turn over the ball, and that's not good for either of these teams. They got to get back holding strong to just holding on to the ball. Something simple, the basics of basketball.
That's exactly right. It's been very aggressive. We've seen a lot of players on the floor in this game. Lots of fouls, but let's take a look at some of our halftime stats.
Yeah, for sure. You see here Jameer Simpson with 8 points to lead his team, but come on now. We got to get Dominic Ford going. He only has 4 points in that game against UVU when they lost by just 2 points. He had 28. He has to get going. And then for ACU, Keon Williams and Nasir DeGrew just being spark plugs. Keon Williams pulling up from that elbow shot, and Nasir DeGrew with a couple of those dunks coming off the bench just being electric. But Leonardo Bedial has to get back into this game for the Wildcats. Only 1 point for him tonight. The team it's kind of based off of him, you know what I mean? So they got to get the ball back into the paint and then dish it out to Leo because he's that good, man.
That's right. Let's take a look at some highlights from this half. One thing to note, there's only been 1 3-pointer made in this game. Southern Utah shot 5. They're 0 for 5 on threes. Hunter Jack Madden made the only 3 of the night so far. Zion?
Yeah, just imagine if they were hitting those threes, man. Just Southern Utah's their lead with a stretch wide. And then talking about ACU, though, like, they got to continue to keep battling back. Like, you keep seeing over and over in these replays some tough shots coming, and these turnovers are just coming over and over and over. ACU holding on to the ball, shooting a couple of threes, getting the ball to Leo. They'll get back into this game.
That's exactly right. Southern Utah really has the height in this game, so they're really going to need to use Leo here in the second half. But hey, it's been a great first half. It's packed here in Moody Coliseum for Greek night, so there's a lot of energy here today, Zion.
Yeah, for sure. And then looking around the WAC, man, talking about the top 2 teams right now, GCU held that spot early until UVU started creeping back up slowly. The only loss they have had has been against GCU. It's tied right now, but then moving down just a little bit here, this guy here, just like Dame, we talked about in the studio last night, Dom time, baby. This stretch has been a leap from him. His last game against Utah Tech, dropping 36 big ones. He's him, America. And then lastly, ACU. They got to get better, but right now they're on that 3-game winning streak led by newly added transfer Keon Williams. He's carrying the team, and then Hunter Jack. He came back, started hitting some threes, and they got back into it. They got to start getting back into that momentum they had when they were just scoring 80, 85 points a game when they were doing that streak. So offensively, just passing the ball around, they'll be fine.
That's exactly right, Zion. You can feel the pressure tonight. You can feel it's towards the end of the season. WAC Vegas isn't very far away. Southern Utah looking for revenge from the other week against ACU. So hopefully we'll see some more offensive plays here in the second half. That'll shock us. We'll send it back to break, and we'll see you post-game.
(28-25). Thunderbirds coach Rob Jeter is with Roman Raffelli.
Grant, Rob, great first half with the lead. What did you see from your guys?
Well, we came out and we started strong. That's important on the road. We controlled. We did some nice things, but I think the thing that we have to take care of is we got to take care of the basketball. They're getting a lot of points off of our turnovers.
Sure. And what's your key to the second half? What did you tell them in the locker room?
Well, we have to keep that same energy. We have to take care of the basketball, and we have to limit their second chance opportunities.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Guys, back to you.
And Coach Jeter, thank you. Dominic Ford, a quiet first half from a player accustomed to making noise, but his team has the 3-point lead here at the break. These two teams have played 4 times, and the road team has won each time. 2 wins apiece on the opposing court. And Southern Utah is trying to continue that trend and return the favor that ACU extended them 12 nights ago when they won wire to wire 84-70 in Cedar City. 28-25. You heard Coach Tanner tell Roman right after the first half. And he wants Leo Bettiol to be more aggressive toward the basket, and he thought that his team wasn't as good rebounding the basketball as they needed to be. 22-13, the rebounding advantage in favor of Southern Utah.
You know, and
The ACU student section trying to get the Wildcats in it.
yeah, I was going to say I've been thinking about the offensive rebound and how that affects a basketball game. If you're a football player,
Yeah.
and it's fourth down, and you're driving down the field, and you come in, you have to convert 3 fourth downs. Sucks the life out of you.
Yeah.
So that's what offensive rebounds do in basketball. It will suck the life out of you. You'll think, my gosh, what have I got to do?
Well, and so often with offensive rebound, we look to second chance points. Did you convert on those offensive rebounds? Largely, Southern Utah did not. If you take a look at some first-time, halftime stats, what they did do, Coach, with that 9 rebound advantage you see, is they just kept the ball on their end of the floor. We know what Brett Tanner wants his team to do. Get the stop and then go. Well, they couldn't go because Southern Utah kept possessing the ball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they were empty possessions, but they're possessions. And it's one less possession that the Wildcats get to have.
So ACU's going to get the ball to start the second half. We're underway. And the Wildcats playing from behind. They haven't done that much in the last couple of weeks. Bettiol, handoff to Smith. Hubbard gives up the 3 and can't get it to go. Smith has it knocked out of his hands. And Dominic Ford, fancy footwork to keep that pivot foot planted. ACU really struggling from the floor, just 10 of 30. Ford with the catch and shoot. No, but another offensive rebound. And another turnover. That's been the story of the game. We saw it in 5 seconds.
Another empty possession. But one less possession for the Wildcats.
Keon Williams quiet the first half. To the paint he goes. Working on Ford, and he missed the easy one right before the end of the half. He gets the tough one to drop.
And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that will be there all night for the Wildcats. They're not going to come out and contest.
Well, Southern Utah's played shorthanded all year again tonight with Tavy Jackson out. It's been Lorenzo Abelar at the point. And yet Rob Jeter's team has fought. Bettiol called for the personal against JT Langston. And to the line goes Langston. And that's been friendly to the T-Birds tonight. Perfect at the line, 6 of 6.
I was going to say, there's a way to slow Southern Utah down with passes like that. You have to have greater ball pressure. They just can't openly bounce pass or pocket pass or throw frozen ropes. And they're being able to do that, leading to offensive boards.
Langston tonight, 7 points, make it 8.
And, and Coach Jeter referred to having the same energy. The worst thing that can happen to a team with energy is halftime.
Williams draws the foul on Felder, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Great point.
Yeah, I mean, that stops a lot of, it's like in baseball, the home run kills a rally. I don't know if I necessarily
I know what you mean,
that.
yeah.
I like home runs.
A double keeps the bases going, yeah. And ACU struggling mightily at the free throw line, 4 of 8. They've lost a couple of games this year because of poor free throw shooting, and they had righted that in the last couple of weeks, but tonight.
It's just a head game right now.
2 misses at the line, but Williams gets his own rebound, and it goes off of Langston of Southern Utah.
Yeah, now maybe we come back and I'll show you that again, but Keon avoided contact. He could have gone through. That's what Tanner's talking about. Take it through there, draw the contact, get on the free throw line again.
Hunter Jack Madden, the only 3-pointer made, as Daisy mentioned at halftime, for either team. Bettiol hasn't made a bucket tonight. Working on Lamine. And finally, Leo off the schneid. How do you say schneid in Italian?
Schneiderli or whatever. Mamma mia.
Yeah, that's what he said most of the first half. 1-point game. Southern Utah is led for 17 of the 22 minutes tonight. Langston picks up the dribble. Lamine doesn't want it out there. Abelar in space, blocked I think by Smith, and Hubbard comes out of there with it. Williams from Madden stepping through, laying it in, and the Wildcats have the lead back.
Now that's attacking. That's what Tanner's talking about, and that's what Coach Jeter's trying to avoid.
Stop and go. That's the ACU mantra these last couple of weeks. Get the stop defensively and then off to the races. Ford tries to answer. High off the glass, no. And Smith scoops up the loose ball. Here come the Cats again. Numbers aren't there, doesn't matter. Stuck back up, no. Hubbard, how did that go in?
Wow.
ACU turns up the intensity. And they've turned a 3-point halftime deficit into a 3-point lead. Running, but not on empty. ACU up 3. All right, back here at Moody Coliseum. Coach, we heard Brett Tanner say that he wanted Leo Bettiol to be more aggressive going to the rim. Watch this play from Keon Williams.
He pulls away. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. He draws the contact with the body, no foul, but then he pulls the ball back. It creates a tougher shot.
Rather than going straight up with the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Rob, you like that timeout from Coach Jeter, didn't you?
Wonderful
Just now?
timeout. Yeah, most coaches will wait for that under 16, and then it gets away from you.
Burdick can't get the jumper to go. Tipped up in the air. Who's got it? Southern Utah. Langston. There's a foul on Bettiol. And that's the third on Leo. And another offensive rebound.
ACU, maybe they need the snowbird to get them to stop offensive rebounding so much, but no, there were 10 people around that basket. Southern Utah does not send anybody away on an offensive possession.
Langston, 4 of 4 at the line. His team is 8 of 8. ACU on a 6-0 run. He gets 2 here. Played at East LA College, went to play on the Division I level at Rider. There's the first miss at the stripe, right into the student section. That's one of the fraternities, sub T16, one of their own, Jack Sawyer. Just made it through pledging this week, so he's now a full-fledged member. Hasn't seen action tonight yet.
He's too tired.
Must be. So that one rattles in. And ACU's lead is 2 with Nazir DeGrew in for Smith at the point. Hunter Jack Madden just 1 bucket tonight. DeGrew working around Hornecker. Hubbard's been quiet offensively. Finds Hornecker, and Hubbard unselfish, and Hornecker,
yeah, if you get in the paint,
beneficiary.
Oh yeah, if you get in the paint, you're dead, and they're letting you get in the paint.
Largest lead of the night for ACU, 4, and they can add to it here. It's an 8-1 run. DeGrew all the way to the hoop, leaves it for Hornecker. Too short, and a rebound for Burdick.
He's got to have more lift than that. Hornecker talking about. That shot's always going to be flat unless he points his toes.
Abelar backdoor to Ford, and a great move from Dom Ford, who's got 6 tonight on 2 of 7 shooting. And again, ACU hustling. Last year they went on a 7-game win streak, did it largely by slowing the game down. This time, the win streak,
it's a block.
Nobody wants to call it. Somebody make a call. They're going to get Abelar of Southern Utah. Got a media timeout here. Abilene Christian down 3 at the break, up 2 at this media timeout.
And welcome back to Moody Coliseum. The Wildcats on a quick 10-5 run in this second half, a 35-33 lead. and they're going to need to continue that success here if they want to beat Southern Utah for the first time ever in Moody Coliseum since moving to the Western Athletic Conference in 2022. The Wildcats have yet to beat the Thunderbirds in Abilene. The Thunderbirds walk into Moody Coliseum tonight with a 2-0 record after beating the Wildcats 82-67 in their first meeting in Abilene on the back of Dominique Ford's 23 points and a 49-point second-half effort from the team. That 49-point second-half effort was the second of its kind after they scored 49 in the final 20 minutes of the first time these two teams played, winning 74-72 in January of 2023. Grant, Ron, back to you.
All right, thanks. Roman, Hunter Jack Madden, catch, shoot three, off the mark, rebound Keon Williams. Draws the foul from Jameer Simpson. And Keon Williams will go to the line. And ACU giving the Thunderbirds a bit of their own medicine here with an offensive rebound.
Yeah.
And in fact, you look at, Coach, the offensive rebounds, it's actually 11-10 in favor of ACU, which might surprise some. They've come in bunches.
Well, that and that, I think Coach Tanner's upset that they don't have the mental toughness to convert an offensive board. They're to shine away from contact.
And so the second chance points heavily in favor of Abilene Christian. Williams with a couple there. And a loose ball, Madden ahead to DeGrew. Denied. And the Wildcats maintain possession. Wild sequence.
Offensive
Wild
board, though.
game. And Madden will go to the line as Burdick is feeling it. This has been kind of the game right here. Deflection, nearly a foul there. Good hustle by Langston to deny DeGrew. Did everyone touch it here? 10 players per court?
I think that's probably the world's longest offensive rebound.
Oh, and Burdick, bless his heart and his head.
Oh.
Wow. That as Brett Tanner gathers his team, that was
Tough.
That late snap action as Burdick's head hit the hardwood.
I'll tell you, I'm impressed with what's his name, Jamar Simpson.
Yeah.
Left-handed. You don't see. In my coaching days, I saw really good left-handed players and really bad left-handed players.
Not a lot in between.
Not a lot in between, and I had one in high school, my first head job at Clarendon, Brad Thompson, and he was left-handed, probably the smartest guy in the gym next to me.
Well,
and, he was good. The old BT Express, what we call it.
The best offensive player in the WAC is left-handed, Dominic Daniels.
Yeah, there you go.
California Baptist, as Burdick continues to get treated, and Brett Tanner and his team wait. Stoppage in play. That was not just the head that went down for Burdick, but I think also got his upper body twisted around as well. And Rob Jeter says, are you kidding? Another injury? Burdick is up on his feet. 7-footer from Southern California. Mentioned he began his collegiate career as a baseball player. Can you imagine seeing this guy on the mound?
Was he a pitcher?
Yeah. Right-handed thrower.
What if he threw at you?
I mean, by the time he takes his stride, he can smell whatever you had for lunch. So Madden at the line for two. He has been outstanding at the free throw line in conference play. That's a lane violation by Abelar, and a rare miss from Madden won't count. He's 11 of 12 in conference play. 90% for the season. That miss was wiped out, and that one will count, and that's Abelar. Just, well, you're dreading it. You know, your weight is falling forward. You can't stop it.
Well, it's the little things sometimes. Well, every night it's the little things.
So Madden goes 2 for 3, but the miss doesn't count because of the lane violation. Burdick to gather himself, and now Dominic Ford will bring it across the stripe. He's only had a couple of games where he hasn't scored in double digits. He's got 6 tonight. Good defense by DeGrew. 7 on the shot clock. Jameer Simpson loses it out of bounds. and that is turnover number 17 for Southern Utah.
Which is what Coach Jeter said they had to avoid, and they're mounting. They're starting to add up.
17-6 points off turnovers in Abilene Christian's favor. Can they add to their largest lead of the night? ACU 5 of 12 shooting in the second half. Not been an efficient night offensively, but determined. Hubbard will try a three-pointer. And Madden skies for the rebound and saves it in bounds. Another offensive rebound for Abilene Christian. To the basket he goes. And again, we'll get free throws.
You know, if you can't find any other way to score free throws, we'll do it every time.
This is Madden, who went 4 out of 5 games without a single point, and now beginning to show signs of coming out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly when we were talking about Keon. That's what he needs to watch Hunter Jack video.
2 free throws for Hunter Jack Madden. He's 3 of 3 at the line, 6 points in the game, and the Wildcats add to their largest advantage of the night, 7. Trailed by 3 at the break, trailed by as many as 7 in the first half. So Madden goes 4 for 4.
Well, they're slowly pulling away. I thought perhaps someone would put 4 or 5 trips together, make a little run, but you can win it at the free throw line. Southern Utah can.
It is a 6-0 run at the moment for ACU.
They're just not going to let Ford get loose.
Ford, a nice dish to Lamine. A rebound stuck up and in by Simpson when they really needed it. But the best offense tonight is a missed shot for both teams.
Well, they just don't lead. They homestead.
Hornicker, floater, didn't float enough, but he gets his own miss. Another second chance bucket. 23 for ACU tonight. 23 of their 43 have come after misses. And there's a push by Williams as Simpson slipped. I think ACU fans wanted just a slip and a no call. Another look here. All right, so Hornicker, no. First you don't succeed.
Dunk it.
Try. Yeah, that's your take on the theory. And another turnover, the 18th of the game. And the 4th already in the first 6+ minutes of the second half. Again, they're playing without Tavy Jackson. Can't overstate that enough.
No.
Their starting point guard. He changes the game on both ends of the floor. And Rob Jeter's trying to mitigate his absence tonight.
The AC staff said that the kid, Jackson, was electric. Would have loved to have seen that.
Madden to Hornecker. Wow! With Bettiol struggling. It's the big fella from Amarillo. By Evening coming to the rescue. And that's a foul in the open court on Madden.
That's okay. It's a good foul. It's not a shooting foul. Hustle foul.
4th foul of the half against ACU. 5 have been called against the T-Birds.
You know, Southern Utah, for them to get back into this thing, and they can obviously, but they're going to have to put together some offensive possessions.
They can't get the ball in, so they call a timeout to avoid a 5-second violation. And this will be a 30-second timeout from Rob Jeter. He was a terrific player in his own right, a forward who played for Bo Ryan at Wisconsin-Platteville. They won a D3 national championship. He was the team captain of that team for the Pioneers that did it. And then he said, Bo Ryan changed my life.
Oh,
he
really?
said, I was planning to go to law school or go into business. And he said, Bo Ryan invited me. He chose me after choosing me to play for him. He said, I want you to think about being a coach. It got me into the profession. And since then, you know, Rob Jeter's been a terrific coach.
Well, Bo Ryan is a Hall of Fame.
Went into the Hall of Fame last year.
Yes. And what, I don't know how many umpteen thousand Division III national championships.
Wisconsin, Platteville, and then, of course, University of Wisconsin. And
very good coach.
Rob Jeter has so many ties to Wisconsin with his dad in the Packers Hall of Fame. Great defensive back for Green Bay. Part of Vince Lombardi's 3 straight NFL title teams. There's a reach-in foul on Keon Williams, who picks up his third and looked over at Brett Tanner and said, "Don't take me out."
Well,
and I don't think he's going to get his wish. And Brett Tanner says, "Don't worry, I'm coming back in soon." So each team, 5 team fouls here with 12:48 to go in the game. ACU with a big week this week. Another takeaway by ACU. It's Dontrez Williams from Madden, and they lead by a dozen. 22-7 in the second half. Madden swatting at it against Simpson, stripped. And Horniker comes up with the loose one. Transition 3. Oh, everybody feeling it tonight in purple and white.
this is what I thought we would see. This is what they're trying to avoid if you're Southern Utah.
And a kicked ball with 12:06 to go. Hunter Jack Madden, well, you said it. If you can't score from outside, get to the line. Made 4 of 4 and now makes the long one.
Yeah, he saw some go in. It matters.
Brett Tanner says he's got the green light whenever he, 24/7 for Hunter Jack.
So Southern Utah, you've got to be extra special aggressive right now. You have to go to the hole. Right there.
Simpson to the basket.
There you go. That's it. That's what you do to get back in this game.
Well, and Jameer Simpson,
another lefty.
An outside linebacker in a small forward's body. They go to the line, but Hunter Jack and the Wildcats, hot. Abilene Christian scored 25 points in the first 20 minutes. Coach, 25 points already in the first 8 of the second half.
Yeah, and they're getting out and they're running and they're sprinting the floor, filling the lanes, dribble, drive, rat, pitter, pat, ratty, tat, boom, you score. And then everyone gets excited.
9 fast break points in the first half, already 9 in the second half.
But with 11 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the game, Southern Utah, when we get down inside 10, they're going to have to start running with the Wildcats.
They've not made a 3 tonight. They're 0 for 6. They've been great at the line, and that's where they are now with Jameer Simpson. A great free throw shooter this year, 84% in conference play. The lefty, high arcing shot.
Eugene.
Yeah, well, his three-pointers are they're majestic.
Well, they're coming.
They scrape the ceiling.
They draw rain.
He made them one to bring them within 2 against Utah Valley, and he misses both at 84%. Misses both here, and the Wildcats' 9-0 run continues. Hunter Jack Madden up to 10 points after that transition 3 a minute ago. And there's a foul on Dominique Ford, the 6th of the half, so no free throws for ACU yet. Both teams will be in the bonus for the last 11:39.
See, now, Dominique Ford trying to blow up that screen is not what they did in the first half, so they've had to ditch what their game plan was. And now they have to be a lot more aggressive defensively.
Dontrez Williams under the basket for Abilene Christian. Boy, knocked away off of Madden, and that's the first turnover of the second half for ACU. They have just 9 in the game. They're plus 11 in the turnover battle. And they've outscored Southern Utah 26-6 in points off turnovers. Felder made a couple of buckets in the first half. No one's made many in the second. For the Thunderbirds, they're 2 of 9 with 6 turnovers. Got 7 on the shot clock as Simpson spins, hangs, no. And Hornick at the rebound and the outlet to Smith. This is the ACU recipe. Smith, no. Hubbard the rebound, and he's going to go to the free throw line. Run. The numbers weren't even there, but they're still running.
Well, they're aggressive. I mean, ACU, to avoid that last place game, they're going to have to play like this. Now, Southern Utah, God bless them, they're trying. They're shorthanded.
Hubbard, just 4 points tonight, but he does lead the team with 7 rebounds. And by the way, ACU has really narrowed that rebounding gap At halftime, they were being out-rebounded 22-13. At this exact moment, it's 28-27 Southern Utah. So 14-6. The rebounding advantage for ACU here in the second half. Everything in ACU's favor here since halftime.
Well, it's been a 10-minute game for the Wildcats.
And the free throw shooting is
Better.
in the second half as well. The rate of 10. 17-point lead, a 20-point turnaround from 3 down at the break. Burdick back in, good to see him healthy enough to come back. Langston lets Horniker go flying by, and that snaps an 11-0 run. You see Bettiol there in the stairwell. He's been nursing a lower leg injury for most of the second half of the season. DeGrew with a crossover and a jump stop, and Burdick sends that into the ACU cheerleaders.
Nice block. It's good execution, but if you sag off like that, you can dominate a game.
DeGrew to a cutting Dontrez Williams. Floats it back to Hubbard. Plenty of time on the shot clock, 10.
And they're packing it in again. They're not going to come out and get them.
3 seconds. Hubbard to beat the shot clock. Oh!
Oh, wow.
They'll take it.
You know, that was an open shot, obviously, but it shouldn't have been. They should have contested that shot.
Well, the miss at the rim, as a foul is called on DeGrew, the miss in transition at the rim to end the first half kind of summed up ACU's first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This kind of sums up the second half. May have gotten away with a little bit of a shove, and that's a 28-footer.
Yeah, well, and no one is in front of it.
Just getting it up on the rim to avoid a shot clock violation. And now a 1-and-1 chance here for Jameer Simpson. Played at D2 Wisconsin Parkside for a couple of seasons. Scored over 1,000 points in his collegiate career.
Smooth player, smooth player. Who's the NBA player? I can't remember his name. He's got the beard, full beard.
Yeah, James Harden.
Yeah, what?
Another lefty.
There you go, James Harden.
Yeah, that's Simpson looks like Harden clean shaven. I mean,
I don't think Simpson makes Harden's money.
I think, well, that's true. But he converts both free throws, and now for the first time, a little bit of pressure. Yanni Rivera takes the inbound. Duncan Reed, 23, back in for Southern Utah. And the Wildcats do beat the 10-second backcourt violation. Both teams have played a lot of guys tonight.
Yeah.
ACU's had 11 C action. Bettiol. And one!
Yeah, he needed to see that go in. That's good defense, though.
Second field goal for Bettiol.
Watch his feet. Watch his feet.
Almost stepped out of bounds.
See his wide base. He's stable. You can throw that shot up. It's a good shot.
Well, ACU's had Keon Williams 4 of 11. Bettiol 2 of 7. And yet they're up by 19. Chance to extend their season best win streak to 4 and sweep the Thunderbirds. Simpson for 3, and that's their first of the night in 7 tries. And Simpson's their leading scorer.
Yeah, we may see more of that. Ford needs to get, he needs to warm up.
And Ford playing through the pain like Langston. Bettiol again on Burdick. To his left. No. Hubbard had his hand on a rebound, and that kind of a night. And again, Bettiol battling the foot injury, combined with great defense by Southern Utah on him. Burdick avoids another turnover for the moment, but now does give it up. The 21st turnover of the night. Dontrez Williams barrels into the lane, out of bounds off of Ford with 8:26 to go.
There are some times I don't know how. I'm not seeing the same game that referees see. I need to grow up. but you cannot be weak.
Well, that's one Connor State star to another. Cam Henderson with the handshake for Braden Hubbard, and maybe the toughest attempt of the night for Bettiol goes in. 18-point lead. Just relentless pressure on the ball all night. And another turnover, the 22nd of the game.
Well, they're being challenged now. I mean, by that I mean ACU's come out with some fire, and they're challenging every pass, every dribble.
Well, this was the concern for Rob Jeter. He wanted the energy, and he wanted them to hold on to the ball. Bettiol can't get the mid-range shot to fall. They've had 4 games this year of 20 or more turnovers. One of them was against ACU. They had 22 that night, 12 days ago. Reed from the corner. No, Felder gets an offensive rebound and draws a foul.
You know, Reed, I think Reed took the 3. I don't remember who penetrated.
He did, yep.
He should have taken the shot.
Media timeout. All ACU here in the second half at home. 60-42 in favor of Abilene Christian. And coach, 3 straight wins for ACU, all by at least 14 points. But they trailed at halftime. They've turned it around here in the second. 35 points in the second half, 25 in the first. Still have almost 8 minutes to go.
And if I'm Coach Tanner, you know, 1's as good as 14. If at the end of the game I'm eating pizza.
Well, when Brett Tanner and his then boss Joe Golding took ACU to the NCAA tournament for a second consecutive time, they routinely won games, especially at home, by double digits. Lots of 18, 20-point wins. They're working on a 4th straight by double digits. Keon Williams, a crossover. He broke his own ankles. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Dontrez Williams realized it, and he loses it. Well, that will not make the season video. That might. Dontrez Williams to DeGrew. Good defense in transition by Southern Utah.
Just an outstanding effort by the Wildcats on defense since they started the second half. Now let's see if he draws contact.
Working on the smaller Jeter. No, Hornecker poking at it, pop-cornered around, and Southern Utah comes out of there with it. Still time for the Thunderbirds. They had a closing kick to get within 2 of Utah Valley Saturday night. And again, Simpson doing what you said, attacking the rim and being rewarded, an and one chance.
And basically, he's the only one that's putting the ball on the floor. Watch right here. He comes off the screen, sees a lane. That's a good take.
He had a string of 9 straight games scoring in double-digit snaps Saturday, but he had 9 that game against Utah Valley. It was 60-58, or 70-68, I should say. And Simpson almost single-handedly trying to keep the Thunderbirds in it. Cade Brazier has entered the game, but can't get the finishing free throw.
You know, if Southern Utah can score, this would be a really dangerous time.
Looking to trap here. ACU beats it. Hubbard can't finish. And Simpson with 15 points, now 6 boards. Chance to make this a little more interesting. Knocked out of the hands of Simpson. And Smith ahead to Keon. Look out!
Don't celebrate, get back. That's
turnover number 24. Ball handlers just coming back to haunt Southern Utah tonight. Braden Hubbard now with his 9th rebound. Hornecker can make a 3. That one won't go. Hubbard another rebound and a stick back for the bucket. He's got 11 points and 10 boards, a double-double. With a transfer to the JUCO All-America.
Yeah, he was a great player in junior college, but this is an offensive rebounding game.
Brazier backdoor. Reed. Oh, that was well executed.
Where we're at that point, you just wonder if it's that really good execution or are you a little tired on the defensive end?
Closing in on 5 minutes to play. Madden to the basket. Fall away. Oh, Hunter Jack Madden. Is he coming out of his slump at just the right time? Good couple of weeks for him after a real dip. Started with some tendinitis and then kind of got into his head, admittedly. Simpson again, aggressive. No, but Reed is there. Couple of buckets for Reed.
Jameer Simpson's getting his right shoulder where he needs it to go so he can get to that left hand and get that shot.
Keon Williams to the basket, finds Horniker. Yes, Keon Williams creating. And Horniker now with 10.
Really, that's just too easy if you're Southern Utah.
Brazier for 3. Nope, and Hunter Jack Madden comes out of there with it. Wildcats out rebounding. Southern Utah here in the second half. Hunter Jack again, yes. And a timeout taken by Brett Tanner. And this will be the media timeout. Down by 3 at the break. Up 20 with a 45-point second half and counting. The take and the give.
Join us March 12th through the 15th at the Orleans
Coliseum. The Wildcats up 70-50 with just over 4 minutes left in this second half. The last time these two teams played, the Thunderbirds won the battle on the backboards by 17 rebounds, but still lost the game. That win for ACU was just one of 2 this season that they earned without winning the rebounding battle. Look for everyone to be crashing the boards and earning extra possessions as this game comes down to the wire. Keon Williams and Brock Felder lead both their teams in reboundings per game and are the names to watch tonight. Guys, back to you.
Thanks. Rob Jeter just trying to piecemeal the last couple of weeks of this season. They're going to have some days off here because they've already played 12 conference games. This is their 13th. For Brett Tanner and ACU, it's their 11th conference game, so they've had their off days. ACU hosts Utah Tech on Saturday night. They swept the Utah teams, and another turnover. Rich Smith stays on his feet. And Rich Smith throws it away, trying to find Dontrez Williams.
That's an aggressive turnover. I can live with that kind of a turnover. It's when we're standing still and I just throw it away.
And that's what Brett Tanner said. I've got to live with a few of those if I'm going to let them run. They ran in the first half, but they wanted to run in the first half. All the offensive rebounds for Southern Utah, even though the Thunderbirds weren't scoring second chance points, they were keeping the ball away, kind of controlling the pace a little more. Second half, all ACU. Zone look for the Wildcats, and kind of a night for Ford. Whistle and a foul on Hornecker, I believe, and that's going to be a couple of free throws coming for Southern Utah.
Yeah, and ACU's gone to zone. They're going to let him shoot the 3 now.
Just 6 points for Dominique Ford, and again, far from 100%, battling a labrum issue like JT Langston. Langston's battled hard tonight. He's been in some pain. It's been the story really all year for this team. They were 7-2 after the first month of the season. And then all the missed games. And here comes ACU with Dontrez Williams to Horniker. Denied by Ford. He'll go to the line. And that's been what we've seen. Brett Tanner said, as we watch this again, when they went out to play Utah Tech 2 Thursdays ago, and then Southern Utah 2 nights later, he said, this is what Brett Tanner said to his team: if you'll get stops, I'll let you go offensively. If you don't play defense, I'm going to get my remote control out and micromanage you offensively. Well, they have gotten the stops, and they've been nonstop offensively ever since. And Brett Tanner's about to see his team win a 4th straight game. And they're going to get Utah Tech in here on Saturday night. 0 for 2 at the line for Hornecker. Utah Tech, by the way, fell behind 22-2 tonight against Utah Valley. They've come back to make it a 9-point game at halftime. Great bounce back from John Judkin's team. And again, ACU running. Dontrez Williams converts from Horniker.
That's just great transition, Grant. They're looking to score. They're looking to run.
Brazier with a quick bucket the other way. Jack Madden didn't want to give him the and one. Brazier made a tough shot. Just 25 points in the first half, closing in on 50 in the second. Keon Williams, spin move for two, rims the basket, no. Good box out by Lamine.
Well, you better shoot early.
Both of these coaches with their sons playing for them. This is Rob Jeter the fourth. Now Reed traveled, got up in the air, and Naz DeGrew's defense denied him.
Hey, in your conversations with Coach Jeter, is he remotely related to Derek Jeter?
He comes from the football Jeters. His dad, as we mentioned, Bob Jeter, who's Rose Bowl MVP for Iowa as a fullback, and then his cousin Gary played for the Giants and the Rams. His uncle played. Football family, and Rob made it a basketball family. And now his son following in his footsteps. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Keon Williams, no, and he'll have a chance to get a couple at the free throw line.
And Keon's changed his game a little. I think he's figured out what coach is wanting him to do, is draw contact. It doesn't matter if you miss the shot. You're lucky if you make it anyway on contact. But draw the contact. Make the referee blow his whistle.
Keon Williams has not shot the ball great tonight from the free throw line or the floor.
Do those things that I said, then get in the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning and shoot free throws. Punish yourself.
ACU is 13 of 21 at the line tonight. A little better here. Brett Tanner, his calling card is defense. It helped build this new Division I program back in 2013-14 into a two-time NCAA tournament team. And another turnover. Number 27. They had 30 against mighty UCLA. Madden, another three, no. 27 tonight.
And the Cameron Crazies,
Yeah.
they're excited, as they should be.
The Moody Maniacs, we got to give them a name here, don't we?
Yeah, I guess we could. Hey, I want to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Well,
here we go.
Have you ever seen a team like Southern Utah so decimated by injury? I mean, they are a great team. They really are.
Well, they clearly haven't quit, and I don't think there could be any better compliment to a head coach. Now here comes one of their own, Jack Sawyer, number 10, who this time last week was in the middle of pledging that fraternity right there, sub T16. He got in Monday night, and his fraternity brothers, they didn't need much encouragement tonight, but that just lift them up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Brazier free throw. He goes 2 of 2.
No, you're right. That is a compliment to Coach Jeter.
Well, and I think when you look at what Brett Tanner's team has done, they were 1-6 in the league. They were 9-13 overall, and you don't go on win streaks. You correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you go on win streaks if your team is quit.
Oh no. You go on another streak.
Yeah. Yanni Rivera for 2, a little too strong, and Lamine the rebound. There's Colby Tanner in the game, so both coaches' kids. That's Tanner on the bottom of your screen. Duncan Reed for 3, no, and a rebound Christian Alston. And again, looking to run, even with a big lead. Alston's going to go to the line to shoot 2. When ACU coach was turning this thing around under Joe Golding and Brett Tanner, and what Coach Tanner has continued to do, They shared the ball. You rarely had a player, Jalen Franklin, who was freshman of the year in the Southland Conference, averaged 16, 17, but mostly you were having the team leader scoring 13 points a night. This was not a team that had a 19, 20-point score like some teams do. And tonight, Keon Williams, 14. Hunter Jack Madden, 14. 11 from Hubbard. 10 from Hornecker. That's the ACU way. That has been.
Well, they found their identity. They didn't have one in there for a while. Hunter disappeared, but now he's back.
Jeter for 3. Saved in by Lamine. Back to Jeter. And Mashai Hill sends it the other way. Reed draws contact from Hill with 8 seconds and change to go. So for ACU, a team that went from December the 4th until January 25th, a month and a half without scoring 70 points in a game, has now scored 86, 84, 75, and 75.
And it's one change, it's transition. He's let them run. Now, Southern Utah, at the beginning of the year, they knew their identity is decimated by injury right now.
It's going to be a season sweep of Southern Utah. It's Brett Tanner's Wildcats that are fabulous in the second half tonight. 25 in the first 20 minutes. They hang half 100 after halftime. And it's 4 straight wins for Abilene Christian. They go to 5-6 in the conference, and they even their season record at 13-13. The Moody Maniacs giving some brotherly shoves to Brett Tanner. Well, you knew not to write this team off after what they did last year, what they've done the last decade. 4 straight wins when things were not going well. While we have a moment, down to Roman Raffelli.
Thanks, guys. Braden, you had a double-double tonight, but you guys were down at half. What switched in that second half?
My bad, can you say it again?
What changed in that second half that allowed you guys to be so successful?
Well, we just went back to the locker room. We were talking as a team, and we were just going over all the things we had to execute coming out. In the second half, we had to have more energy, and we were just talking, getting together as a group and making sure we playing together, and that's what we did. We came out and executed and had it all together second half.
You got your second double-double of the season. What went well for you personally tonight?
Well, you know, just my teammates having my back. First half didn't really go my way. I was kind of struggling a little bit. Went back in the locker room, and my teammates let me know before the half started, like they all got me and stuff like that. So, yeah, we all got each other. We all playing together. So it came out feeling more comfortable, having more energy, and we all just executed.
All right, thank you, Braden.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, Daisy Zion, it's all yours.
Hey, thanks, Roman. Great interview. We're back upstairs in Moody Coliseum. And hey, you heard it here first. That energy here was brought in the second half from the Wildcats.
Yeah, just straight up resilience. 25 in the first half. 50 big ones in the second half. They just came out guns blaring, excited to put up those points here in the second half.
That's exactly right. We talked in the post game how, you know, we just did not see those points from the Wildcats or from Southern Utah. Southern Utah stayed 1-10 on threes tonight as we take a look at some final stats.
Yeah, and you talking about ACU, just the confidence coming out of the half, and just big shout out to Sub T giving them that confidence. You saw Hunter Jack coming into the game, hitting step away, turn around, mid-pointers, and then you saw him pulling up from half court from 3, and then Keon Williams doing what he does all the time. Braden Hubbard adding as well with that veteran presence that he brings from the JUCO level. Just dominance across the board from the Wildcats on the offensive side. And then you talk about on the other hand, 27 turnovers for the Wildcats. They make sure the other team's turning over the ball, man. It's just electric what they can do once they get confidence.
That's right. I'm curious to know what head coach Brett Tanner told them at halftime, because it certainly was the turning point for this game. I think it's safe to say that the energy here in Moody Coliseum from all of our Greek life really played into the game this evening, gave ACU some of that light here in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. And then like Grant just said downstairs, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in a row for the first time of the season, the longest streak. The Wildcats are back, baby.
That's right, and they'll be back on Saturday to face off Utah Tech. Let's see if that streak continues. But for now, Daisy Strine, Zion Webb signing off. We'll send it back downstairs.
Daisy, Zion, thanks, Coach. I guess we could say better late than never for Abilene Christian. Big second half.
Oh, and they played a 20-minute ball game and won it.
Yeah.
And they got back to what they should have done in the first half.
For Nick Barrett-Sticker, our producer, Roman Raffelli, Daisy Strine, Zion Webb, Ron Holmes, I'm Grant Boone. Good night from Abilene.